Welcome everyone to another show of the Big Go Belt Wrestling Podcast. 2 Chainz here alongside with Silly Sellers and Dr. M. And tonight we have a returning guest to the show, Mr. David Conrad. What's up? What's up?
Nothing much. Just relaxing and getting amped for pay-per-view coming up.
That's right. If you didn't check out the last episode David was on, David is a friend to the show. Like I tell everybody all the time, if you ever want to reach out to us and talk some wrestling with us, we'll make it happen. That's exactly what we did. And come to find out, upon talking, David has a lot in common with fellow members of the show. He's also a teacher, so that makes 3 teachers right now and me.
Well, technically 4 if you want to include Aaron, because Aaron's a teacher too. Don't forget about Aaron.
Yeah. Now, I mean, I'm outnumbered right now, but yes, currently right now. Yes. And he's also a native of San Antonio, Texas, which is where we'll be visiting this coming weekend for NXT Takeover San Antonio and the 2017 Royal Rumble. So it only made sense that we brought him on the show tonight to talk about predictions for both shows, maybe some special entrants for the Royal Rumble, and just let's talk about San Antonio. What can we expect? And a little bit of freestyle, some of our expectations, and so on. So, again, David, I always like to give our special guests an opportunity to shout out their handles or anything else they want to talk about or put on. So, floor is yours.
Nothing really much to promote, except I am getting ready to launch one of the projects I'm working on with me and my 2 friends, Jeremy and Trevor. We're starting a project called Vector Wrestling. Vector Wrestling is a fictional wrestling federation with fictional wrestlers fighting for the fictional championship. And we are here on a completely real podcast to break down the fictional action. Basically, we're fantasy booking our own promotion, Vector Wrestling, and it's us just kind of messing around, having a good time with it, and pretty much fantasy booking without the shame of saying we fantasy book WWE.
That is awesome. So that means you can hire your own creative team.
Yeah, we are our own creative team, so any complaints, it's our fault.
Awesome.
When David kind of told me about this off air, I was a little bit intrigued and a little bit fascinated as well. And I was just like, wow, that's such a great idea. And little did I know, there is a lot of that going on that people probably have no clue about. Like, not a lot that is not in demand, but it's out there if you really, really weave through that. People are sort of say, instead of complaining about booking and creative, they're like, if I can do it, this is how I would do it. And it's such like really cool aspects. I really, really look forward to it for sure.
And there's a lot of e-federations where like you'll have a group of 30 people that are all kind of their own wrestler, but we're taking it on as it's the 3 of us doing the whole thing. So, there's not really fighting for, I got left out or, I want to do my thing. It's not the 3 of us are kind of putting together. We're Vince and Shane and Stephanie. I'm not Stephanie. I'm not going to do that.
But David, just to add to that, as you're describing that, and once again, this is a throwback show me and 2 Chainz always talk about. It reminds me like of a WMAC Masters. You have real characters. They're all fictional based on the martial arts aspect, but they're telling a story. And you're a former referee yourself, or still are active referee. So that's like very intriguing and very awesome that you guys are doing that. And like 2 Chainz says, I didn't realize it was a big backdoor of this type of creativity going on. This is excellent, man.
No, so yeah, that's starting up. Our first fictional show is in April, I believe April 13th. We're going to have a podcast, a pre-show and a post-show. So that'll be all on www.vectorwrestling.com.
Nice.
That's going on, about a couple months.
Shout out to, if you're talking about WMAC Masters real quick, shout out to Turbo and the Machine and Red Dragon, because forever you will have my childhood for after the cartoons went off. Like, that was my show. And I hate hearing it because I just get hyped, like, I'm ready to watch it again. But dude, that is awesome. I definitely can't wait to see it. And in the sense too, the way you explain it, a little bit of us all shared this same creative aspect on the playground in elementary school for saying who you were, who you was going to face. Yep. You before recess came about, I have a good friend, Robert Lloyd. I will always remember me and him was like the best of friends, and we was always on the same team, and we had fake me out belts in our head, and as soon as recess come along, it's like who we're going to face and how we're going to finish the match and so on. It was also, and think about it too, we was in elementary school doing this consistently. We only had one injury, which none of us will ever forget and how it went down. But it's just like, it's crazy to think like this creative aspect is all of us endured for real. We just don't use it, So That's awesome, man. That's awesome. D-Wayne, what's up?
Life, that's what's up.
D-Wayne joins us, y'all. 8 minutes after our start time, but
that's D-Wayne time.
we won't chill him out. Actually, he is on time. That is exactly his time. But okay, let's get into the Royal Rumble card first, real quick. My first thing I'm just gonna start off with is the pre-show. Sasha Banks and Nia Jax in a singles match. On the pre-show, are we? I mean, I don't even know what to say. Like, are we being too harsh about the pre-show? Being the pre-show as if like they're not worthy to be on the main card, or is this like should we expect to see good matches on the pre-show? Like, I mean, me personally, I'm based on how Sasha has competed in some of her last few matches. Like the pre-show is where she needs to be. Just my opinion, but a lot of people didn't take to that good on Twitter. So since D-Wayne is on the Dallas Sasha Banks bandwagon, I just want to know how do you feel about seeing her announced to being on the pre-show against Nia Jax, your girl?
So here's the thing with this whole card. I think the pre-show where she belongs on this card, and I'm going to say why. One, because the actual Royal Rumble match, I don't know how long the match is going to be. Maybe between 40 minutes to an hour, depending on how they plan it. So that's already taking up an hour of your time there. And then it's not the simple fact that this is just a Raw only pay-per-view. This is a Raw and SmackDown pay-per-view. So you have matches from both shows that have to be on there, and matches that are frankly more important than her feud with Nia Jax, which wasted time for both of them.
I mean,
the pre-show is where this match belongs to the pre-show. There's no doubt in my mind it belongs to the pre-show.
Let me make a quick announcement real fast. At any point in the rest of this show, if you don't agree with something, just yell out. If you have a certain feel about something, don't wait. Just spit out, because there's going to be a lot of nonsense I can see coming on. But I agree with D-Wayne for the first time ever in 2017. And there's other important things to deal about than this Sasha Banks and Nia Jax match that, quite frankly, I'll be good without it even happening, period, right now.
Agreed.
So that's my take. I'm behind D-Wayne on that.
Who else agrees with me?
No, I agree.
I'm back.
So no other comments?
I mean, literally,
well, see,
right out my mouth.
Well, see, I like and Nia Jax, and I mean, this feud is kind of coming out of nowhere, and obviously Sasha's been booted out of the women's title picture. But in terms of the pre-show, to me, the pre-show doesn't feel like a throwaway anymore, because I have believed for a long time now that there are now way too many people in WWE. There are people that we see on TV maybe every 2 to 3 weeks now. Now we have the UK thing going on. We have all the cruiserweights. We have NXT. I feel like WWE is getting to the point where they might have too many people employed. Everybody's not going to make it on the pay-per-view. Like, logistically, it just won't work, right? And so I think now the pre-show is really not sort of the joke that it used to be.
No,
I hope so.
When you look at how many championships you have now, every match on the card is for a championship.
Exactly.
You have the Raw tag team, SmackDown tag team, Raw women's, SmackDown women's, Cruiserweight champion, WWE Championship, Universal Championship. That's already 7 titles right there. There's no more room for anything else besides championship matches if that's how you're going to do it.
I have to say, speaking of Nia Jax, I have to say I like the booking for her right now. That she's slowly being booked. They kind of took off the Braun Strowman, so to say, plan and letting her go about it her own way. And I think 2017 is going to be bright for her nonetheless. I think Sasha is a good profile for her, especially the amount of like love Sasha get, which is equating to the amount of heat she should get. So I'm not mad at Nia Jax being right here on the pre-show, and I'm not mad at Sasha Banks because I think she deservingly should be on the pre-show. But nonetheless, I hope that fans take a liking to Sasha so much that it kind of does legitimize the pre-show, and that would be a good thing down the line. Because the next match, or maybe the match before this, is the Cesaro and Sheamus versus Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, which the club had picked up the win on Raw, which a lot of people, it got a good pop too. So I think people are definitely going to tune into this one to see, is this going to finally be their chance to captivate the Raw Tag Team Championship?
No, it's not. Disappointment arrived.
They haven't had their fair share, so I wouldn't be surprised. But I think there's still enough intrigue to see, is it finally going to go that direction finally?
I don't think it goes that direction to WrestleMania. That's personally.
Yeah, I definitely have to say that if they definitely don't win it now, I'm thinking WrestleMania has to be sort of say a situational move for them to possibly be put in a scenario where they should win it. We'll see.
If they win it Sunday at the pre-show, which I don't think a title has changed on the pre-show like that in a while, if at all, it's going to be a hot potato with them. And I don't think they deserve a hot potato title reign, kind of like what they did with the Women's Championship. So I feel like I agree with D-Wayne. Let it wait to Mania.
And given the fact that we have 2 referees assigned to this match, it's almost, something's going to happen. So I could see a dusty finish where, Monday we have to settle all this now.
Yeah. I think the 2 referee stipulation only foreshadows another stipulation for them. Cage match or something, sort of say.
3 referees.
3 referees.
Right.
I don't know. The possibility, the 2 referee thing is a little bit intriguing because I don't think I've seen a match with 2 referees for God knows a long time. So there's something to this. And nonetheless, we don't have a choice because we'll be in the arena. But nonetheless, I think that people will be paying attention to this pre-show a little bit more than usual with the Usos and Kalisto and Baron Corbin, the typical pre-show kings,
Yeah.
The next match is the 6-woman tag match, which is Becky Lynch, Nikki Bella, and Naomi versus Alexa Bliss, Mickie James, and Natalya. I don't really so much care about this match, but let's talk about Mickie James for a quick second, who obviously this came off of a really spectacular match against Asuka at NXT Takeover to debut on SmackDown as La Luchadora, being unmasked, and it was Mickie James who sided with Alexa Bliss. I do not think she got the pop deserving. I don't think the commentary sort of complimented her as well too, because they're like, oh, it's Mickie James. She hasn't been in the WWE ring in, I don't even know how long they said, 7 years, I think it was. I don't know. I was like, wait a minute, I just seen her on NXT TakeOver this year, so it wasn't that long. You don't discredit that match she had against Asuka because it was great, But nonetheless, she's on the main roster now, and I'm just wondering, especially I want to start off with Dr. M, do you think the handling of a returning legend was done correctly here? She did take a tour through NXT TakeOver, a great match, high profile, highly publicized to who she was and what she represent. To come back on SmackDown, and sort of say, kind of disregard her whole NXT match. You know, do you think that was handled correctly, or what's your take on that?
I mean, right now at least, I'm okay with how Mickie James is being handled. I actually think it's a pretty smart move to put her with Alexa Bliss. Alexa is a heat magnet right now, and so I don't think Mickie James suffers at all being with Alexa Bliss. And because Mickie is so experienced, she can probably help Alexa with a lot of the heel tactics that she still needs to learn. So, I mean, so far at least, I'm okay with it. It seems like WWE is kind of telegraphing it, though. You know, at some point down the road, Mickie is going to turn on Alexa and kind of go after the women's title herself, which I'm looking forward to. And so I think so far so good. This tag match at the Royal Rumble is random to say the least, but I think it should be good. I like what they did with Naomi on SmackDown this past week. It seems like Alexa and Becky Lynch will never, ever, ever stop fighting. And yeah, I mean, the Nikki Bella and Natalya thing seems really forced to me, but I mean, I'm okay seeing them in a tag match. I would never want to see a singles match between them, right? And so it should be entertaining, I think, at best.
I have to say that I'm glad to see Naomi back again. I like her promo in the ring. I was almost a little bit disappointed that I did not think for a second she was going to get the match, but I definitely liked her attitude with calling out, saying she was not was going to go like that on her watch. I'm expecting big things for her. This match right here, again, is not the focal point of the Royal Rumble, but I think that it does a lot of them justice by being in this type of match to get accommodated with each other, maybe knock off a little bit of ring rust, and create some angles down the line. I mean, obviously there's some angles already into this match, but maybe some better ones down the line. And Nikki Bella is always a hot commodity. So, you know, when you think of the pairing with her, her and Naomi can make for a good match, you know, nonetheless, as far as athleticism, charisma, and just star power, especially considering that they're both on Total Divas. We're not going to disregard Total Divas as if it's like some knockoff show, because it is good and a lot of people tune into it. And to see, you know, what's happening now can be storyline next season. This all makes good for good TV, but yet what's good in the ring as well. So I like this match. I'm expecting some big things from Mickie James, because I'm sure she's ready to command her throne again. And let's not forget Mickie James versus Nikki Bella. The backstory to that. Tune into Total Divas Season 4, the John Cena era.
Oh my goodness!
Let's not forget that.
Stop it.
I mean, honestly, guys, come on. You guys got wives and girlfriends and stuff. Come on, you know that spices things up just a little bit.
The quote that Mickie put on that radio show: "We're all grown adults here," so I'm gonna just leave it at that.
Oh, come on, now. Nikki Bella, we don't.
But you're right; it's a storyline waiting to happen.
It is, and you know, although we have not been predicting who's going to win these matches, nonetheless, we find all. I mean, except for the club and Cesaro and Sheamus, so to say. But there's a lot to be happening here, and considering that they're all on SmackDown too, it's all more intriguing for me. So I am a fan of this match being booked this way, for sure.
Why am I the only one that feels like this is going to be a bathroom break for me? I just have no high expectations for this match.
Hold up. It's going to be a beer break for me, so.
Okay. Me and D Wayne are going to do that, but I'm just saying. I mean, granted, all individual women that's in this match, I have respect for. Putting them together in a triple threat, a 6-man tag or 6-woman tag in this type of pay-per-view where it's already stacked, is not going to get time. This match is going to be done in 5 minutes or less.
They're going to get more time than the cruiserweights.
Yeah, and let's not forget that the pre-show is 2 hours, so you legitimately this might be your introductory. This might be your first match of the card.
Oh, that would be bad. that would be so bad if this is the first match. I think one of the championship matches should be your first match of the card, whether it's the Raw title or the SmackDown title. One of those needs to be your opening match. And
no, I don't know. I don't agree with that because I feel like, again, the star power right now that's on the pre-show, especially when we're talking about Sasha Banks, no matter what, she gets people butts and seats for however that match may end, considering that it's a 15-minute break before the main card starts. To get a 3-on-3 women's match, we're not talking about women 2 years ago when they were divas. We're talking about women now that we know we're going to get we should get a good match. And I think it's only right considering that it's the only match that really doesn't have a gimmick going forward besides or championship match. So I think it's perfectly paced being the first match. And I think it should have expectations to be good, or to set a tone. But nonetheless, like I'm saying, it's going to create storylines and directions moving forward. And I think that it deserves more than 5 minutes. I mean, think about it. If it only got 5 minutes, we'll be ranting about it next week about why are women only getting five minutes. And there's Nikki Bella and Mickie James in that lineup and your women's champion.
Because of what you said, you don't know how long that Royal Rumble match is going to be. And I have a feeling that Royal Rumble match is going to be over an hour. I would expect it to be 60 to 75 minutes.
Yeah, right. Never. We're not talking about a 40 minutes, a 30 minute. And we're talking about a bunch of at least 10 part-timers in there that's not going to be in that ring longer than 15 minutes,
It's going to take Undertaker 5 minutes to get to the ring.
I mean,
right, you have to take that into account. Yeah.
And the same thing with Goldberg whenever he comes in.
Anywho, before we talk about
going to follow him through the back.
Yeah, that's true.
Before we talk about the Royal Rumble, let's move forward to another match. We have the Kevin Owens versus Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship match with Chris Jericho being in the Shark Tank.
Okay.
Hold on. Can I introduce you, please?
Hello.
Now,
Roman Reigns' boyfriend. Go ahead.
Hey, look, Christmas right now.
D. Wayne.
Hey, look.
D. Reigns.
Hey, look. Roman Reigns is gonna walk out with the title. It's just that obvious. Sorry, Cal. You had your time. Well, you just didn't get to shine like Chris Jericho did. But, I mean, hey. Roman Reigns for the win. Going to WrestleMania with the title.
So if he wins, right, isn't he in the Royal Rumble too?
Who? Roman Reigns?
Yeah.
He'll be replaced. And that's happened before where a title change and he'll be replaced. Like, for example, think about CM Punk. CM Punk lost to The Rock and then he rumbled that same night.
Oh yeah. Okay. I don't know what to think here actually. So I'd be curious to hear what everybody else says so I could snag one of you guys' ideas. Let's start off with David on this one real quick. What do you have of this match?
Considering they just changed it to a no disqualification, now I feel like it's one of those cases where Roman Reigns is going to win via disqualification. Owen keeps the title. I forgot where I read it if it was Twitter or something, but now, Chris Jericho can keep something in his trunks, drop it down from the cage to Owens. There's something that's going to happen that's going to take care of that. Wait, hold on. I'm confused myself. It's no DQ. So Owens is going to win by cheating and keep the title. So it's no disqualification. So he's going to be able to Chris Jericho can still act from the cage.
Yeah, I understand. Here's the thing. I think it's going to actually, Chris Jericho, if there's something drops from the cage, I think that Roman Reigns is going to get it. And that's going to start the KO versus Chris Jericho feud.
Agreed. I agree.
That's a great point.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody else?
Well, I have to say, I'm actually not looking forward to this match at all. I think of all the matches at the Royal Rumble, this is the match I'm looking forward to the least. And that is not a shot necessarily at the people in this match because I think Jericho has been the MVP of WWE for a while. KO's been great, and, Roman's been Roman, right? But I think I'm not looking forward to this match because for the last, I don't know how many weeks, I've had to look at that stupid shark cage on Raw. And that has turned me off to this match. I don't know what it is, but it has been on the stage for the last, I don't know how many weeks. When it hasn't been on the stage, it's been in the ring. People have been trapped in it and raised high in the arena. And you know what? I'm just tired of looking at it. And I think it has turned me off to this match. We saw this match at the last Raw pay-per-view. I don't know why we're seeing it again. And I'm just looking forward to it being over.
Now that is something I can agree with. Straight up.
It just has too many moving parts.
I have to say, before everybody even say anything, absolutely, this is the match that I look forward to the least, point blank. One, because of the fact that the predictions, like Dwayne said, of Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho starting to create friction of something that's been really good. You know, I have to say, the same thing like we talked about in the last episode, the Wyatt family friction, with Randy Orton and them, that's also happening too soon. I wanted to see that play out a little bit longer. And this is another like instance of something that I don't want to see start happening now. So I'm hoping that's not the lane that they take. But nonetheless, I'm just not looking forward to this match pretty much at all. Anyways, I don't know. Roman being Roman, I guess, is what it is for me. But who knows? You guys love some Roman Reigns.
I agree with the people in the match aren't going to put on a bad match. It's just no DQ with the shark cage. I feel like there's just so much going on with that match that in the end, the first 20 minutes of that match aren't going to matter. It's all going to come down to when everything blows up.
Yeah, stupid shark cage it's so dumb. Goddamn is so right. Every time I see it, it's like, why? It's dumb. Moving forward to the next match now. We got Charlotte Flair. No, I'm sorry. I'm skipping over real quick. I'm just looking over the card. We have AJ Styles versus John Cena, which should be a good match. They've had good matches the beginning of last year, and I expect nothing less than that on here. At this point, I can care less who wins. I feel like John Cena is going to win because he's more, say, of the higher profile for WrestleMania with him having a belt, considering that my predictions on who's going to win the Rumble. So I think it only makes sense that John Cena wins here. But I'm also more intrigued to see AJ Styles and what he does moving forward, considering that there's so much more money to be made on this guy. We have not got much of the club, sort of say, with him since the draft. And we all know there's so much to fantasy book with him. You have your TNA reincarnation matches. We have just some of his epic matches in New Japan. And there's just a lot to do here with AJ. And I think with him not having a belt, creates better avenues for him to do so. Because, you can't have him face Samoa Joe, who may be called up for the belt because he just got called up. But, to start a feud with him out of nowhere, it perfectly makes sense for them to have a match. So I look for John Cena to win this match, and I think they both still have really good 2017s considering that. Somebody.
All right, here's my take. And I'm sorry, Dave, I didn't mean to cut you off. I didn't realize you were going. I'm gonna be real quick.
Hey, good.
I feel like John Cena still needs to chase after that 16. And if he can chase after that 16, I think that 16th title win at WrestleMania, regardless if he's going to take time or not, will be more memorable for him at WrestleMania than at the Rumble. Because I think that would be a great storyline for have them rematch again and finally have Cena overcome it. And then Cena can lose it to somebody else on Tuesday on SmackDown. And then he takes his break. But I think that moment of him winning that 16th title will be better at Mania. So I think AJ will win. Continue because whoever's going to win the Royal Rumble, I think it's going to be a focus of a Raw match or a Raw championship match going into Mania.
David?
Honestly, after Tuesday, with that promo, I feel like the best thing WWE could do is let AJ win that one. Because with all the people that are about to come up from NXT from the Indies, it would give that legitimacy to we belong here. But then it also comes down to at Mania, do you want John Cena to tie the 16th, or do you want him to win the 17th and break it at WrestleMania?
That's a good point.
So it comes down to how do they want to work that?
Because you still got the chamber too. That's a very good point.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, so I am trying to find something on my phone right now, and I just read that the 6-woman tag match has been moved to the kickoff show.
Oh wow!
Oh no!
Oh, 5 minutes. You just moved to 10 because now you're on the kickoff. Sorry.
I mean, it's still going to be a 15-minute book match, nonetheless. I mean, they got 2 hours for 3 matches. We already know the tag match is not going to go long. Let's be honest.
Well,
Anybody else have anything on this AJ Styles, John Cena? D. Wayne.
Yes, I do, and I have to agree with stuff. I think Cena has to win at WrestleMania.
To tie.
It's just he just can't win it right now. I don't see the point of him winning right now. I feel like he does his best promo work when he chases the belt instead of having the belt.
I mean, I think Cena, nonetheless, he handles promos really good. But I think there's more of an intrigue from the non-casual John Cena fan when he's chasing or desire, and he's a little bit off the script, doing John Cena stuff. So, I definitely see our point there. Okay, but moving forward, so we can knock out a couple of these matches, because I know we're going to just stick to a quick hour show tonight. Charlotte Flair and Bayley. I think a lot of people expecting Bayley to win here. I'm expecting Bayley to win here. The female John Cena, obviously. Charlotte Flair has had a tremendous 2016, winning at every pay-per-view. If you look at the New Day, who also had a really good year and never lost, until they eventually broke the record or milestone, sort of say, and then they lost. And I think that's Charlotte made a milestone to go undefeated in 2016. I don't know if it was a record or not, but I'm expecting after that, I'm expecting her to lose against Bayley. And I think ultimately there's a lot of money to be made with Bayley versus Sasha Banks on the biggest stage of WrestleMania. And I think for the belt only makes sense. And I think there's so much promo packages and video packages that could be built for it that it only makes sense that they move towards that. Charlotte's going to be fine, nonetheless. Woman of the Year, undisputed Woman of the Year, no question. Everybody can agree with that. And I just think Bayley wins here for those reasons. Let's start with Dr. M. What's your take on this match?
I actually think Charlotte's going to win at the Rumble, in part just to keep that pay-per-view win streak alive. I think they should keep that going for a little bit longer.
I agree.
And I think Bayley isn't going to win the title until WrestleMania. I think that's going to be her big night to win the women's title.
Sally?
I actually think one of two things are going to happen. First of all, I agree with Dr. M. Charlotte's going to win. It's going to happen in the pit and goes to SmackDown. Then Charlotte is going to be the longest reigning women champion in history by the end of 2017. If if Asuka comes to Raw when she gets called up, I think that's the only person that can beat Charlotte, because I think you have to continue Asuka's undefeated streak until Charlotte takes it from her again.
Can't wait till we talk about that match.
That's why I see it going. So I see Charlotte winning, and even though if you have a big fatal 4-way or something like that at Mania, I think Charlotte will still retain, because like Dr. M said, I think that undefeated pay-per-view streak has to continue. That's a great storyline.
David, what you have here for me?
I'm agreeing. I think Charlotte's going to keep it here. I think if anybody takes it from her, it'd be at WrestleMania, because that'd be the spot. No, she should win at WrestleMania, but I think that's also a good spot for her to lose, because that's a good, character development point of I had it all the way till WrestleMania. I couldn't keep it. So I think she wins it here at the Rumble.
Good point. D. Wayne, what you have?
Hey, look, everybody knows Charlotte's gonna win. We know that. You wanna know why? Want to know why we know that? Because let's really think about it. They're big on Bayley. People love Bayley. What's the perfect way for Bayley to win? It's not the Royal Rumble. It's at WrestleMania. So why not have Charlotte carry the title to WrestleMania where she can lose it? And the thing is, I don't think it's going to be a singles match at WrestleMania. I think it's going to be a triple threat or fatal 4-way. Because I don't think they want Charlotte to lose in a singles match on the biggest stage yet. I don't think they're prepared for it. They want her to look strong. So the perfect way for someone to look strong is to book them in a match where there's extra pressure to.
Yeah. I also thought you was going to say this too, but at the same time, everything that you said also applied for Sasha last year, where everybody's expectations was for her to win, and she didn't. So I think it's like one of those like fool me once moments, you know? But nonetheless, I'm still going to stick with Bayley here because I know that I want to see NXT Takeover Brooklyn, Sasha versus Bayley match again, or even know that those two 1-on-1 are going to go on the main roster, and at least 75% of the magic that match was as great as it was, and for the belt at WrestleMania can be nuts. So, I mean, I'm totally fancy booking it so it can be that way for WrestleMania. So I would expect Bayley to win for that note. But also, I've been riding the Charlotte train all year, even when people was pro Sasha, even before I was anti Sasha. And I just wouldn't be mad if she did win, but I'm looking forward to seeing something a lot better because I feel like we've seen a lot from Charlotte, not all, but a lot, to the point where I want to see her sizzle down just a little bit to be able to elevate a lot better going down the line. And somebody else is going to have to step up with her. That's the other thing. And I don't think. I mean, I think the experiment of saying, "Hey, let's put her in a good feud," or whatever they want to call it, the best feud ever against Sasha, to try to elevate the two, but only one person rose there, if you ask me. So, the next match, we have Rick Swann and Neville for the Cruiserweight Championship. I have Neville winning here because he's the Cruiserweight King. End of story.
Same. Agreed.
No, I got Neville winning, but I actually think this could be a show-stealing match, aside from... we assume AJ Styles Cena is going to be a good match. We assume like Charlotte Flair Bayley should be a good match, but I think Rich Swann Neville is going to surprise a lot of people.
I like the fact of Neville winning and taking the title everywhere. Being on 205 Live, being at the UK Championship show, whatever it may be, being on Raw the next day. That's what I look forward to. But nonetheless, come on now. Neville was the man in NXT and was lost on the main roster for a while. Now he has purpose, and him as a heel is what's best for business. Give him the belt.
And you know what? Him as a heel is what's best for business, which is the reason why I think he loses. I think there's more to tap in from Knowles at Royal Rumble for the title than a Neville that won.
Go ahead, Dwayne.
Yeah, it's just so like he's the Cruiserweight King. Well, I feel like the King will be much more angrier. You'll see a better heel if he loses than if he wins.
I think we all was a fan of Brian Kendrick winning the Cruiserweight Championship from TJP, and which ultimately led to the rise of Rich Swann. I think Neville winning becomes the rise of the one we all been waiting for in Cedric Alexander. And I think it's only right that, the transition between heel face to elevate each talent to the point that we start seeing, more of a show from somebody like Tony Nese, who can go in the ring but really hasn't had the platform. And I can't think of his name right now.
Drew Gulak.
Drew Gulak too is another person that I want to see. Given a better platform. Hopefully he gets on the UK Championship show. And I can't think of his name. Just Jack Gallagher and other people. But again, I think that some of these guys are only going to get chances if they're going against the top heel for the belt. I mean, other than that, some of these little mid-card shenanigans that's happening aren't so intriguing. Because the heels right now are just being doormats. Point blank.
But here's my thing. I think that Cedric Alexander will be a better heel than he is a face.
Oh, dude, we all know that. We all know that. Oh, I was praying that out of that feud with him and Alicia Fox and what's his name?
Noam Dar.
Yeah, Noam Dar. I was hoping that there was going to be some good to come out of that. Except we still got Crazy Chick and no good of him going heel yet. But there's so much magic in him being a heel. Go ahead, so he says.
We saw him in Baltimore when he fought Moose, and he storytelled that thing perfectly. And even when we saw him at Nova Pro Wrestling, he was a heel in that match too. So it does it well.
Yeah, absolutely. But nonetheless, I have never. Anybody else have anything on this match so we could get to the Takeover San Antonio card real quick before we come back to the Royal Rumble?
Oh, good.
Hey guys, don't give me dead air there. Somebody say something. I'll be like, somebody there. Go ahead.
No, we're good. We're good.
Okay. Let's go down this NXT Takeover San Antonio card really quick. The card is starting off with Roger Strong versus CN, as I'm always going to call him. At this point, I'm not sure if anybody's been keeping up with NXT strictly, but at some point we need to see more out of Roger Strong because we know who he is and how long he's been doing it as far as his career, and it's time for the second tier of talent to be elevated. And I think that this is probably going to be a really a good starting point to see his talent. Obviously, CN also is another talent as well too. That needs a little bit of elevation and promotion as well. He's been losing a lot of matches, sure to say. But
I have a rant real quick. It's going to be a 2-minute rant. Let's take this. This is the issue the issue that I have with NXT right now. The issue that I have with NXT is it's not what Triple H envisioned as far as being a developmental territory where new talent could come in and develop their skills. No. What we have is basically free agents coming in and controlling that brand. So basically, let's be real. This is like a third brand that free agents come in before they go to the main roster. They stay on there for 6 months to a year, maybe a year and a half, and they go to the main roster. This to me, it's not a development territory to me no more. And I think that's the issue that I have in NXT. This is not the vision that Triple H had at first.
I mean, so are you unhappy with the free agents? I think they're adding to NXT.
Now, I never said I was unhappy with it, but I don't see the vision that I once did. I just see a third brand that really is just okay, well, we're just going to throw these people here because guess what? Our roster's overcrowded, and when we have people leave, we're going to bring someone up. It's a talent store. It's not really a developmental thing. Mm-hmm.
I mean,
but I enjoy it. Don't worry, I enjoy it. But it's just that's the issue that I have with it. And the thing is, not a lot of this talent is young. You're getting into your older talent that's on there.
I think that AJ Styles made a great point in a recent interview he made about NXT should not be, sort of say viewed as the minor leagues, but sort of say this is the way of getting accustomed to WWE and, the ropes of it. There is a lot of people that put a lot of work in wrestling career and in the wrestling career, 30 plus years and so on that starts at NXT, which, you can't sort of say downplay them down as a rookie or the developmental league, but sort of say this is how we do it here. This is how we work our angles and, let's build your character here. Do you want to come as your traditional self, name change, all that other stuff? So to your point, I don't think this is what sort of say Triple H envisioned originally, but how he's been, handling it, thus getting talent such as Shinsuke Nakamura, the bar is way high with him as far as, a talent coming over, that he's handling it pretty well because these names are all household names, no matter if you know who they were before or not. Roger Strong's been in ROH for a while, but I see people on Twitter saying I've never seen this guy, and he doesn't really stand out to me, and he hasn't really had any matches, and I get it. It's nothing I can do to convince you on that, but nonetheless, they're getting TV time more than staying up at 12 o'clock at night to catch ROH or whatever it is in your respective areas. And I think you just got to give them a little bit of time because we know they have the athleticism and they can wrestle. Just, just come through NXT so we can show you how it's done to eventually, get put on the main roster. And hopefully creative works out right for you. As far as I'm concerned, NXT does a better job with the abundance of talent better than what Raw has, with so much talent with people like Dr. M said earlier, you may see them once every three weeks, which is a travesty, But nonetheless, like the next match, Eric Young versus Ty Dillinger. We've seen Eric Young appear on NXT on and off. So we know the whole deal with him was rumored coming from TNA to being in the stable now against Ty Dillinger, who was once in WWE, who's back, who's one of the hottest stars now. Nonetheless, that's a good match because you really can't book this match. You're just hoping to see a good wrestling match. That's what you get with NXT. So it's not so much to say like who's going to win here. It's just the expectations of, do we get a good match here out of these first two matches? And I think the answer is yes. I think we'll be satisfied with that, right?
I agree.
So, moving forward, we have a fatal four-way women's match with Asuka, Nikki Cross, Billie Kay, and Peyton Royce. Now, we all know what Asuka can do and should do, but we look at people like Billie Kay, who should be the next tier of NXT women, who should carry the brand.
Agreed.
Because we know what she can do. But what happens here? Like you said earlier, Sellers, Asuka continue her undefeated streak unto the main roster. So are you cool with Asuka squashing the entire women's division besides Ember Moon right now?
You got to, and I think strategically you're doing that, keeping those two away, so that way you can have that atmosphere of, man, I really wish I would see that match, or I wonder what happened if those two would get in the ring together. So Asuka has to continue to dominate. You just have to do it, and then when you build her up to bring her on the main roster, and like I said, put it against the Charlotte Flair, you have something epic that you can brew up.
I like how they're booking Asuka, and I would not be mad if Asuka wins and say, look, no competition for me here, and just leaves the belt and rolls out.
That'd be good.
Any other comments on that before I move forward?
I mean, that can convince me of Asuka winning. I kind of see Nikki maybe taking it because I see Asuka and Nikki kind of face-to-facing like they did on Wednesday. Billie and Peyton kind of tag teaming the two of them, keeping them apart. And then maybe not like friction, like, oh, they're going to break apart, but have them kind of wrestle each other for a little bit. But I see Nikki just kind of coming out of nowhere. It's a fatal four-way, so it's no DQ. I see her kind of going crazy because that's how she's been booked. She is the, lunatic fringe of sanity.
Yeah.
So I could see Nikki just kind of stealing it from somewhere, but having Asuka win and then leave because I've got nothing here, that convinces me to watch that happen.
Dr. M, I know you're a big fan of what's Mary? Oh my God, what's her name? From Decay, Rosemary. Nikki Cross brushes me the same way, and I wonder, are you a fan of her as well? If you've been keeping up with NXT, and do you have any other special remarks on how this match could be booked?
I'm a big fan of Nikki Cross, and I think definitely sometime in 2017 she's going to be NXT Women's Champ. Like David, I actually had Nikki Cross winning this match on Saturday, but you guys convinced me that maybe Asuka is going to win. I think Asuka is going to win, but I would book it in such a way that, if she wins, she's going to maybe pin Peyton Royce or something, right? I really wouldn't have Nikki Cross take the pin or the submission because I think they need to keep her strong. And we still have to see the Asuka and Ember Moon match. Like, that still has to happen, and I would think that it's probably going to happen at the Takeover before WrestleMania to hand over the torch to Ember Moon, and then I would go from there to an Ember Moon Nikki Cross feud. Yeah,
I can go either way with that as well. It'd be intriguing. I definitely just want to keep Asuka strong. I do, and I think Ember Moon is still the wild card in this because when you think about who's going to be Asuka, you have to think of a big name signed. And Amber Moon is a big name, and they kept her away from her on purpose. And I think, sort of say how Finn Balor was kept away from Roman Reigns for a little bit, and then he eventually beat him. I'm wondering if they're going to, channel that same avenue on that as well. DIY versus the Authors of Pain here. I have DIY just because Authors of Pain, heel tag team, coming off a really good match against TM61. Just not yet though. They're obviously they're strong physically looking and everything. So them losing doesn't really hurt their character and the building and the Paul Ellering manager. But DIY has such a good year, and we're not ready to see them lose the titles yet. We didn't get to see them beat the Revival, but maybe twice. But all the NXT card bookings, they've repeatedly beat them, and I think we were cheated of that because those have been some classic matches, and that's also made them look pretty strong, which I think also caters to why they should beat the Authors of Pain because of the resume that they've actually put up this within their title reign. So I expect them to retain here, and that's about it. David?
I don't follow NXT as closely as I did a few months ago, just due to my Wednesday scheduling.
Mm-hmm.
What are the other big tag teams in NXT besides DIY, Revival, Authors of Pain?
TM61.
Sanity, I guess.
Sanity, okay. Yeah.
So I'm thinking if DIY retains, who is their next opponent? Versus if Authors of Pain win, can you drag out Authors of Pain DIY for a little bit longer?
Yeah, I mean, NXT hasn't had a strong tag team division in a while, so it is a bunch of redundants, and we expect to see the Revival called up at some point. But that's why it doesn't make sense to have a title change here because you just keep the titles on somebody who's being built legitimately till they're ready to jump ship, and you just have other people who challenge them to legitimize them, as a tag team, but not as like contenders, sort of say.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. M, any other comments on that?
Yeah, I think DIY is going to win at TakeOver, and I can see the feud continuing after this actually because I'm pretty sure at some point Authors of Pain are going to get the belts because I don't see the point of building them up the way they've done without having them have a title run at some point. So maybe at the next TakeOver, Authors of Pain are finally going to take the belt, if not sooner.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. This is one I'll definitely just wait to play out. I know it's going to be a good match nonetheless. So I'd definitely be interested to see what happens there, as all NXT tag team matches have been good over the last year. So I expect to see some magic here for sure. Let's just get to the last match real quick so we can get back to the Rumble real quick because I know we're running out of time. Shinsuke Nakamura, Bobby Roode. What happens here? Silly Sellers. Start me off real quick. Yep. Did I lose? Did I? All right. What's the Marcus?
Oh, geez. Okay. I'm gonna make a bold prediction. I think Bobby Roode wins it.
Ooh.
I think you have to strike while the iron is hot with him, and he's been on fire since he got to NXT. And as much as I'm a big Nakamura fan, I don't really see where we go with Nakamura if he does get past Bobby Roode. I think it's time for Bobby Roode to win it.
That's a great point. Shinsuke Nakamura losing to Samoa Joe did not even touch the stardom that guy has. And I think Bobby Roode is another person who's obviously much more popular than Samoa Joe. Wouldn't hurt him at all as well, if not even make it better. I expect to see another great match. And I also think that Bobby Roode wins it here. For the big question is, what's next for Shinsuke Nakamura? Which we know that we've already conquered NXT on all levels as far as putting butts in seats, matches, title reigns, all that. So, it's about time for him to lose the belt so he can move on to better things. David, what you have for me here?
No, I could see that too. This one, I don't know if I could call. This is one of those where I just want to watch it and see what happens.
Yeah.
Either way, I think I'd be happy with whoever wins I think that's a good case for Bobby Roode to win the title. But either way, I want to watch it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm going to say this. I like Bobby Roode. Me and Bobby had a thing since TNA. All right, let's be real. Unless Nakamura is going to be a surprise entrance in the Royal Rumble the next night, I don't see him losing the title. That's the only way you can take the title off Nakamura right now is if he goes to the Royal Rumble the next night. Besides that, I don't see him losing the title until Takeover right before WrestleMania.
So
I think only because right now it's just too much. Standpoint, you're still building storylines for WrestleMania. 1, 2, there's too many people on the main roster right now. 3, they gotta save someone for to be that after WrestleMania. Oh, you call up to the main roster spot.
Mm-hmm.
He would be a great surprise entrant in the Royal Rumble, though. I never thought of that.
Yeah. Go on, D-Man. It sounds like you have more to say. I'm not gonna take your shine.
Oh no, I had nothing else to say. I mean, he's either going to be a perfect surprise entrant or a perfect bring up to the main roster after WrestleMania. But those are your picks. And personally, I think he's a perfect person for after WrestleMania.
Since Ellis had the jet, he said that he also had Bobby Roode winning and Shinsuke Nakamura to be in the Rumble. So, who knows? I'll be cool with it. I mean, let's not forget when asked about the tag teams left in NXT, you know, slim pickings. But as far as people that can compete for the title on championship caliber matches, we still have Hideo Itami, who decides that he wants to be clear again to wrestle. So as much as I would like to see something with him versus Shinsuke Nakamura, nonetheless, I just would like to see him relevant, period.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
No, I was just saying I agree.
Yeah. So, you know, basically Samoa Joe is non-existent, which I'm going to definitely bring up in 5 minutes. But you see how Samoa Joe disappears and the championship title picture is not hurt. And I think with a star such as Shinsuke Nakamura leaving or whatever it may be, it's not going to be hurt because Bobby Roode will be able to, you know, to carry it for a while, even with him being the heel, but such a lovable heel nonetheless. Maybe they change him face, who knows? But nonetheless, I think they will be good here. But I would like to see Bobby Roode win here, and I think that would be such a glorious moment, right? But let's talk about the Royal Rumble here now. Finally, the whole point of us getting together to talk about the Royal Rumble. 30-man Royal Rumble. Thought we might have got a 40, but we got 30. I believe, if I've counted correctly, and somebody can tell me if they've read or counted different, that there's been 22 people announced to be in the Rumble, which makes there's 8 uncounted for people here. We already assumed that we're going to have a legend, maybe a call-up, maybe an injured returning superstar, maybe a wild card signing. So I'm going to start with D. Wayne really quick, and I want you to tell me, what do you expect out of this mysterious 8 people that has not been announced?
So we already know one of the mysterious 8. His name is Triple H. I think he's going to be double. Do you know who I want to be in the Rumble? I'm trying to figure out if I heard anything from him. I haven't. It said his rehab was going well. That's Finn Balor. That's one.
Oh wait, I have to stop you because I just realized you getting ready to just take everybody's shine. Get ready to just open up Pandora's Cue for everybody.
Here's my last person, Seth Rollins.
Yeah, you know, some way, somehow, Seth Rollins being in it has to happen, and it's going to be I don't know if somebody gets injured or something, but I expect to see Seth Rollins as well, and I think it's going to be. You know what would be crazy if he entered with his new theme music that they've been rumoring to be around. That'd be awesome.
Well, that would be great.
Dr. M, what you have for me here?
You know what? That just made me think. Seth Rollins is going to be in the Royal Rumble, and they should book him as El Luchador. I mean, does that not have money written all over it?
Yeah.
I would book him as El Luchador in the Royal Rumble, and of course the commentators are going to be like, "Who's this guy?" Right? And that would be so perfect for a number of reasons. But I agree with D. Wade. I think Finn Balor's. I hope at least that he's going to show back up at the Rumble because that would be the perfect spot. I'm trying to think of a legend because, like you said, 2 Chainz, there's always a legend in the Rumble, and they've usually been disappointing. So I'm hoping that'll be different this year. I don't know.
Oh, I got a funny one. Ooh, David, what do you have, David? And Marcus, by all means, when you think of somebody, just go ahead and yell it out.
No, because I'm thinking of NXT call-ups. I definitely see Samoa Joe in the Rumble. I am still banking on Ty Dillinger getting in number 10 or just appearing.
Oh my God, Ty Dillinger at 10.
But
that would be great.
But my hope was that Rollins would get a spot in the Rumble. Sami Zayn wouldn't, which would open the door for a certain El Generico to show up at the Rumble. But that's not happening this time. But I can't think of a legend that would appear. I mean, I would think maybe it's the 30th annual. Maybe Jim Duggan comes out for a pop.
Oh, that'd be cool. Oh, I got you guys covered. You guys want a legend? You guys want a legend? Let's talk about legends real quick. Straight from Baltimore, Maryland. It's only right that if you got freaking Goldberg in the Royal Rumble, that Gilbert makes a return. And I have Gilbert eliminating James Ellsworth out of it.
How I forgot it, James. That is the match.
I'm sorry, James Ellsworth is going to be in the Final Four.
Oh, dude. Oh my goodness. But I've said it on the last show. Finn Balor is also somebody I expect to make a return here. I thought about it too. I thought it only makes sense that Triple H is in it. He won it last year. His music mysteriously came on last week, which obviously is foreshadowing like, hey, no matter if you guys are reading Twitter and everything Seth Rollins is saying, this Triple H guy is still a thing that needs to be built going towards the main event. I mean, going towards WrestleMania, period. As far as a wild card, I mean, I had to honestly say, man, when I heard the Godfather music drop a couple of years ago, that was pretty dope. So I would not be mad if I seen the Godfather happen. I'm surprised there's been no Kurt Angle love here, no Kenny Omega love. I mean, I know a lot of rumors have debunked it, but this is the Royal Rumble, the 30th anniversary. Let's make something special happen here.
No, I know earlier today, probably just a few hours ago, Kenny Omega did announce, "I will not be at the Rumble." A lot of people are still saying he's still trying to trick us, but I'm not getting my hopes up on Kenny Omega at the Rumble. I think that he will not show up.
He also, I mean, he definitely said that it could not work. He said it couldn't work, but he didn't totally say it. You know, he left it open. I think he worked the question correctly. To a point that if he did appear, somebody is obviously going to say, "I knew it, despite him saying that he wasn't. Nonetheless, so I'm not on the Kenny Omega train here.
Oh, you know who's going to be in the Rumble? I just thought of it.
Okay,
Tyler Bate.
Ooh.
Okay. I think he's going to be a wild card in the Rumble match.
Dude, that would be cool. That'd be cool.
I wish it would be Pete Dunne because
I was just going to say that. Yeah.
I think he was the bigger star out of that tournament. It's probably going to be Tyler Bate.
Dude, how about this? Finn Balor returns. Finn Balor nephew, not his nephew, his protege. What's his name? What's his name? From the UK tournament as well.
I don't remember.
I cannot think.
I know who you're talking about. I can't think of his name.
Okay, so check this out. Somebody Google his name real quick for me.
Judas Devlin or something?
Jordan Devlin. There we go. Jordan Devlin went full-blown heel, and it worked. When do you think we ever see a Finn Balor to go heel at any point? And do you with the whole foreshadowing of the club eventually happening at some point, it's only going to make sense if Finn Balor definitely does it with being a heel. Wonder if we get some magic between the two of them in the Royal Rumble. Just far-fetched booking here, but why not?
I don't see Finn Balor going heel. I see him toying the line a lot, like face heel. He's going to have some heel actions, but he's going to be a face. I think he's going to toy the line. I think the Finn Balor, if Finn Balor's not Demon King, face, but he's Demon King, he's going to be heel. I think it's just going to toy the line a lot.
Nonetheless, though, point blank is Dr. made a great point. The UK Championship tournament, people, there should be some entrants from that tournament, and I think that's something I never thought about. Anybody else predicting that will be in the Rumble before we talk about who we think is going to win?
I can't think of it. I wonder. It seems like every few years we have a woman in the Rumble, but I don't see that happening this year.
I know Charlotte wants to be in it. She has voiced that opinion recently.
It'd be so cool if Nia Jax was in it. Obviously, that wouldn't happen. How about a returning Beth Phoenix? But I think she's pregnant, from what I've read. No Hardy Boys left here.
Nah.
Trying to think. Anybody else who's been kind of flying under the radar of? Anybody from the CWC who has not? I read a report too that Ryback may make an appearance here.
Oh my goodness!
As he's had some indie dates taken off.
The pre-show stopper.
Yeah, well, of course. All right. Well, if you think of anybody, this, like you said, just blur them out. Now let's talk about winning here. Or do you want to go Final Four winning, whatever it may be? If you got 4, name out your 4 and your winner. If not, just name out your winner. D-Wayne, let's start with you. What do you have?
Dang, well, I gotta go first. I mean, I'm still thinking. This is crazy.
All right, well, pass, skip, draw 2, Uno, out.
I'm actually going to sit here and say, your final 2 are Braun Strowman versus The Undertaker, with The Undertaker winning.
All right, that's that. You know what? That's mine.
I'm gonna go Final 4. Samoa Joe. I'm gonna go out on that one. Undertaker, Strowman, Ellsworth.
Okay, I like your 3. I definitely have Samoa Joe being first of all, I have Brock Lesnar eliminating Goldberg and Samoa Joe eliminating Brock Lesnar, because that is, that's what I'm picturing down the line to eventually be a match to happen. So, which then will end up leaving the Final 4 of, and I also have Braun Strowman eliminating the Big Show as well too, since they made that a thing. But we'll see what happens. Dr. M, what you have?
Well, as I have maintained for many months now, James Ellsworth will be in the Final 4, like David said. Braun Strowman, probably Undertaker, and Baron Corbin.
Ooh, Baron Corbin, I like that. I definitely want to see more for Baron Corbin, and I think this is definitely an opportunity for him as well. So with each of you guys winners right now, what do you think is their respective booking for WrestleMania? Oh, D-Wayne, you didn't even give me yours. Oh, yeah, you did. I'm sorry. Yes. Okay. So obviously, like I said, I agree with D-Wayne. I have The Undertaker versus John Cena for WrestleMania for the WWE Championship. And to add to that, The Undertaker is the only superstar that is not affiliated to a show, which gives him the opportunity to cut promos towards both brands at any given time.
Yeah. In that case, I have Undertaker versus Roman Reigns.
Of course you do. Yeah. At the WrestleMania, I can see you booking your ticket right now for that, huh?
That's all right.
David, what you have for me?
I'm going to Undertaker John Cena at WrestleMania. I think that's just they've got a logical way to get to it, and I think that kind of makes sense with winning. No, that's a profile match. Will Undertaker lose? Will Cena win his 16th or pressure pass? I see that being kind of the logical solution.
The promo packages on that is the limit is out of this world, considering the history of the two. So, Dr. M, who do you have for me?
So this is where I'm getting thrown off here because I want Undertaker to win the Royal Rumble, and I think he probably will, like you guys said. But at the same time, I don't know. I'm just not buying the Taker-Cena match yet. I mean, I'm sure it'll draw big money. They just have to do a lot of work to get me interested in it, honestly. I would much rather see Taker go against somebody young to really kind of help get someone else over. Like, I really liked Taker's match with Randy Orton back at whatever WrestleMania that was. I thought that was one of his best WrestleMania matches. And it would be great to see something like that again, where he goes against a brash young guy who does not care at all about respecting The Undertaker. I would love to see Taker against Baron Corbin, to be honest.
Oh, I knew he was going that way with it. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think you guys are right that we're headed to Taker Cena at WrestleMania.
Just to read off a tweet from Twitter real quick. Shout out to Jamal again. At Giant Crab at Giant_Crab. He tweeted saying that he hope it's Braun, but probably going to be a part-timer. So that also would allude to somebody such as The Undertaker, Brock Lesnar, or returning person. So we'll definitely see there. Here's a wild card question: who will have the longest entrance coming into the Royal Rumble?
Well, Taker.
I say Taker or Goldberg, one of those two.
How about Finn Balor? The question is, like I tweeted a couple of weeks ago, the potential of all three of these guys making a long entrance. What's the likelihood that their entrance is so long that another superstar enters before they get to the ring? So we covered both shows that's going to be down there for the weekend. Let's talk a little bit about San Antonio real quick. My first question before I let David tell us a little bit, open the floor for him. What's the chances that we attend the Royal Rumble viewing party with Alberto Del Rio and Paige at his restaurant down there?
I have not been to his restaurant. I don't know when I'll ever make it down there. I feel like I don't know that whole situation with him and getting. I don't know.
I can assure you that there's going to be some illegal substances being done or so, which could lead to our suspension on the podcasting for 30 days. So may not be a happy party there.
We had Total Divas. Now we have Total Bellas. I would love to see like a 3-week Total Del Rio.
Oh, jeez.
That dude's life has been pretty adventurous. Like TMZ loves the guy. TMZ loves the guy. Dr. M, I'm giving it to you for a second. Dr. M obviously is, and Aaron as well too. Aaron is also, he's taking a little hiatus right now for some personal stuff. What do you look forward to going to San Antonio? Obviously, we always talk about eats, but let's be a little bit more specific and see if David can help us out a little bit. But what are you looking forward to as we get down there?
I've been to San Antonio a couple times, but I was really young, so I don't remember a whole lot about it. So I will say that I'm looking forward to actually getting to experience the Riverwalk.
Yeah.
I've heard just lots of good things about it. I hear it's a lot to see and do, and so it'll be nice to sort of experience that as an adult.
Particular food that you're craving?
Oh, Tex-Mex all the time.
You always set us up with some good food, man. So I'm excited. The BGB crew will be down there early. I'm sorry, we'll be there Friday. The other half of us will be there early Saturday. We are staying at the Marriott Suites on the Riverwalk. We will be attending NXT Takeover San Antonio and the Royal Rumble. So definitely, if you see us, we might have our shirts. So we'll be around nonetheless. If you see our faces or anything, I think we will have some of our gear on or something. But we'll be there. So you make sure if you see us, you definitely give us a holler, or we'll stand. I know some familiar faces, so if I see people, we'll definitely be definitely chatty. Hopefully, we get ourselves to some good eats and some good drinks and stuff while we're down there. D-Wayne, what's your expectations as we get down there? What you looking forward to? Especially you, Mr. Voyager, had to make it known that he had to get there a day early to get the trip started.
So I'm actually, since I have a lot of stuff going on, I'm actually coming in early Saturday morning.
Okay.
But I'm looking forward to Tex-Mex, drinks, time with friends, and good old wrestling.
Will you be carrying the big gold belt?
Of course. Why wouldn't I?
That's Silly Seller's favorite question for you, so I just had to do it since he was gone. David, question to you for me as I'm a steak lover. Where can I get the best bang for your buck from a non-franchise place, like not like Outback, but what's a good place that you think you could recommend so we can get our steak on?
Oh, honestly, I'm going to get back to you on that one. I'm not a steak restaurant person.
No, okay. So well, you have some homework then.
Searching, I do have some homework. I know if you hang around probably like within a mile or two of the Tower of the Americas, there's a lot of little places that are great for Tex-Mex, a lot of little Cantina-style restaurants. So if you're looking for authentic Tex-Mex, there's a lot of places just kind of, in the heart of downtown, you can go anywhere.
Okay. Give us a little bit about the demographics. We're standing on the Riverwalk, and obviously, the two places that we're attending the shows at. How are we looking to get around? We have not booked the rental car. Should we, or will Uber suffice? Because I know the Riverwalk is someplace we want to be on feet. So that seemed to really take away from the need of needing a rental car. But as far as us getting to both of the shows, what do you suggest there?
No, probably something like a little rental car ride share should be fine.
Okay.
If you're trying to get from downtown anywhere around, traffic is pretty good because of construction. So that's always going to be an issue for us. And we've been living here for about a year and a half, and there's still construction off on the highway right next to our house.
Here's the question. When you talk about traffic, have you ever drove in Washington, D.C., Atlanta, or L.A.?
Actually, LA and DC, yes.
So
it is not as bad as LA was, and it's not as bad as DC was. Granted, I didn't do the driving in DC; it was my uncle.
Okay.
But no, I mean the traffic's not bad, and especially coming from Austin, where I lived for 25 years, Austin traffic is bad.
Okay, because when we went down for Dallas, we were told that it was bad traffic, and there was little hiccups, but I was like, traffic? I was like, you guys ain't never seen a day in Washington, D.C. 495, where your commute home could typically be 30 minutes, but with traffic can take you 2 hours. Don't let it snow, because you may never get home. Just pull over and go to sleep.
No, I mean, downtown's pretty walkable, but if you're going to do that, there is one rule you have to follow in San Antonio, and that is do not let them know if you're a Lakers or Heat fan.
I want to let them know I'm a Lakers fan.
Here comes some hop on. Any team that's won championship,
That is the one San Antonio rule: is you do not let them know you're a fan of the Lakers or the Heat.
Wow, what's going on?
What do you mean? You know San Antonio is a championship town. They don't want to hear about no other contenders, especially no Cavaliers Heat fans with LeBron comments towards Popovich. You know, they're not going to do that. Don't bring that down there. David, any other tips before we get out of here for the night, or anything you want to plug before we end the show? Again, like Marcus only been when he was young. I've never been down there, and again, I'm just looking for a good time, some place to hang around. Also, we're going to hang out, whatever. But just anything else that you can share with us, and also for the fans to hear.
Not really. I mean, just kind of take a walk around downtown if you get a chance. Take a Riverwalk boat and take a lap around it, and just have a good time while you're there.
Here's a responsible question. Is there any shady areas that we should know about? Like if you went to Vegas, I would say stay on the strip. Don't go off the strip onto old Vegas, because you never know what you're going to get there.
I mean, as for shady areas, I don't know of one particular place where it's, hey, don't go there.
Yeah.
But I mean, just like any downtown, once you start getting, like, when you're downtown near malls or near theaters, you're good. But once you start kind of leaving that area, then be careful.
Cool. That works.
But I mean, it's from what I've been here, it's been a safe city.
Cool. Dr. M, D. Wayne, you guys got any remarks or questions you want to plug in before we get out of here?
I guess the only question I would just ask really quick is, what's the buzz like there? Do you hear a lot of people talking about the Rumble in the area yet, or is it still pretty calm?
It's still pretty calm. I haven't been downtown toward the Alamo Dome in a while, so I'm not sure, what kind of banners or what kind of stuff is there right now. But it's been covered by the news a few times, but overall, buzz is still kind of low on it.
Okay.
Ooh, I got a question. D. Wayne, go ahead. You have any questions or comments?
No, not good. Just kind of packed and look forward to it.
David, I know you said this is going to be your first pay-per-view that you attend in. Let me ask you a question. From your experience of the city thus far, and still being relatively new of the city, do you think that San Antonio can host a WrestleMania within the next few years?
Ooh. I think they could. I mean, I don't know how many seats the SBC Center could fill, and I think if they did a WrestleMania, it'd be at the SBC Center just due to seating. Maybe at Alamo Dome. I think they could. I think it's a big enough city, and it's major airport right there, just like Dallas. I think they could.
That's like basically two of the three components. You want a major airport for access into the city. And you want to make sure the venue can withhold the crowd, but you also want to make sure that the city is, commutable. Everything's really in contact or in close range of being able to hit the different venues for each show. So I definitely would be curious to see, especially considering that it's a warm place, which typically are where WrestleManias are being held at, or dome areas. So just a little quick wild card question. Again, everybody, thanks for tuning in tonight. Definitely, like I said, we'll be down there. We will be posting, our locations as far as where we're hanging out and stuff. Anybody want to kick it with us, talk a little bit of wrestling, talk about anything besides wrestling, sports, or something like that. It's a vacation for all of us, so we'll just be looking to unwind and have a good time. So definitely, if you're part of that, if you have that, same mindset, definitely kick it with us. David, again, make sure you plug away your Twitter handles and on your contacts and anything you want to add.
Yeah, Twitter at @David Conrad, and www.vectorwrestling.com. Our new wrestling or fictional wrestling podcast going to be launching in the next couple months. But our website's up and running, so we're going there.
Cool. You would not catch us at the Alberto Del Rio viewing party because we have better things to do. And yeah. So anyway, for the crew, this is 2 Chainz. We got D. Wayne, Dr. M, and the departing Silly Sellers in the absence of Aaron. We will catch y'all and see y'all this weekend live in San Antonio, Texas for the Royal Rumble and NXT Takeover San Antonio. Thanks for tuning in, and make sure y'all subscribe to the YouTube channel. All right, peace.